Hey everyone, welcome back to Balance Basketball Academy, and my name is Jordan. I was a former college basketball player, now turned trainer, and what we're looking at today is one of my favorite college and then now pro basketball players of all time, and that's Paige Bueckers. I've been following her since her sophomore year of college, and ever since she tore her ACL, I've been even more in her corner considering that I had done the same, and I know how hard it is to be able to do that. So we're going to take a look at the kind of training that she's done over the last several years to be able to excel even at the pro level and hopefully end up in an all-star game pretty darn soon. For those of you who are new, please like and subscribe. I know that about 80% of the people who watch these videos are not subscribed. Hey guys, I make more stuff like this, so, let me know. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so this first video that we're looking at right here, I've done this before. This is really cool. This is great for finishing. So a lot of times you're going to have people when you're finishing in real life where you're not going to be able to use both hands to finish. We went over this briefly in the LaMelo Ball video against his Nicholas Claxton layup, how he did that in game, where he had to use his offhand to protect and he had to gather and finish with his right solely. This is a really good way to work on your touch without having that other hand to help you. So if you have two balls in your hand, you'll finish with one. You're working on that spin, that finesse, really getting that one hand down, catch, and then the other. It also really encourages you to, this is such a quick clip, but it's a really good clip. It also encourages you to use both hands equally. You're not compensating with your weak hand by putting the right hand on the ball as you're finishing. And that's exactly what she's doing. Whether or not she's making them, the video doesn't show it, but I would assume that she is. That's a really great variation of the Mikan drill where you can use it with two balls. She's doing really good here. You can see that her eyes are up-ish. Sometimes this happens to me too, when you're dribbling two balls and you kind of stare into the middle distance and you're not actually looking up at exactly what's going on. The reason for this is not necessarily because that's bad, it's because a lot of times when you're dribbling and you're working as a ball handler, you're looking at people's hips and their feet. That's the thing that matters more so than like anything above kind of like the mid-waist. That doesn't really matter what they're doing because everything that matters is going to be happening right around the waist and below. That's what you're looking for when you're a dribbler. That said, there are times when you want to have a more look-up view of the floor where you can see everybody else on the floor. That's completely fair as well, and you're reading everybody else. But staring into like the middle distance here is not the end of the world. Like, she's not looking down at the ball as she goes. She's just kind of locked in. This one's fun. Yeah. Is she wearing the Currys? Yeah, she's wearing the Currys. I think those are the 8s. I don't know. I'm a big fan of Curry shoes. But I play outside a lot, so I can't wear Curry shoes anymore because the traction will just get shredded. Nice. So that is an off-foot finish with the floater. Floaters are really neat little things because if you do your footwork right, you can get that ball up in the air before anybody tries to block it. And once it's in the air, it's going at a high enough arc that the chances of somebody picking it out of the air pretty slim. One of the ways to trick people is to go with the opposite leg going up. I just bumped the table. Sorry, I can't really do that. Going with the opposite leg up as you're shooting that floater is a really good way to get people off timing. We talked about this with Kyrie Irving. So if that person goes a step early, in my mind, by bringing the other leg up, I'm a second too late, and that's the second they need.
Take the paddle. Yeah. You do the same exact thing. Step up. She did it. Wow. There you go.
I just want to point this out. This is super small, but the rapport that you can see, obviously, let me preamble this. There is a camera crew in here. They are filming this for promotional material, for, to make money, to put it on YouTube, right? There's somebody here filming this. So obviously this could be faked, but I don't really think it is based on me just watching this video. The rapport that she has with the trainer that she's talking to is really good to see. That's a really healthy like player-trainer relationship. from, again, the video I can see that has been filmed. Because, yeah, they're joking with each other, but he's still saying, hey, you need to do this. This is what you're doing. And it's light, it's fun. You don't see any stress on her face or in her body language where she's like, I have to get this right, or he's gonna yell at me, or, you know, then he's gonna jump down her throat. He's hyping her up. He's saying, you made the shot. It's crazy. It's awesome. And then there's other times where she's like, you know, hey, jab, you know, do this instead of this, or jab here instead of this, or, you know, gather the ball this way. And she's like, okay, all right. And then she'll actually do it. Like, it's a nice, fun relationship where you can tell that these two people have actually worked with each other before. And it's really good to see. I don't, like, again, I'm not saying you have to joke around with your trainers, but, you know, if you feel like stressed out every time you go to train, like, man, your life's gonna be really difficult. This has really nothing to do with, like, skill training, outside of just, like, you know, pick somebody who you feel comfortable with and who can actually help you move forward at the same time. Try and find both of those things. And I think she has. That's really cool to see. Okay, I don't know if you caught that either. She just missed that shot, but he still said good. It was like, good, and then it cuts off. Your goal is to train your player to get the best reps possible. And if they make the shot, that doesn't matter as much, especially in Paige's scenario where her shooting form and mechanics are pretty good. So she'll make the shot more times than she won't. And if she misses the shot, but she gets the footwork down, that's a good rep. So measuring it in just makes and misses is not necessarily accurate to how good the workout is going. And when you have somebody in person, they're going to be able to read that. So that's why he said good. Let's look at Paige's shooting form. I'm going to slow this way, way down so we can see what's going on, because I love analyzing shooting form. And the one thing I want to make very clear, when I talk about shooting form, everybody has a different body, so you're going to shoot a little different based on what you can do. Kevin Durant shoots differently than Russell Westbrook does. And Russell Westbrook shoots differently than Curry. And Curry shoots differently than Caitlin Clark. They all shoot different. So saying that one is better than the other is not necessarily the goal here. The goal is to say how dialed in are their shot mechanics? How perfect are their shot mechanics? And how optimized are their shot mechanics? That's what I'm going for. And then I'm just looking at the little differences in how they work. We're going to take a look at Paige. Alrighty, on the gather. So she's got a slight knee cave-in a little bit. That's super duper common with women. I did that when I shot the ball, and I probably still do. If I were to go outside and shoot today, I would still probably have a little bit of knee cave. That is because of the hip placement of women. Hips are wider on women. They just are. So your knees are going to want to give more. That's just the way it is. Because of that, more glute strength is needed to be able to keep your knees from doing that action, because having your knees cave in like that is a sign of less than ideal glutes, meaning that the glute strength needs to go up and that your knees compensate for it, which can lead to, it is not the cause of, let me make that clear, it can lead to knee injuries, which I've had knee injuries. I can say that my glutes were probably not up to par when I tore my ACL in high school. Let's talk about her upper body, okay? So her feet, hard to tell where her feet actually end up. It looks like she has roughly 10 toes to the rim. Actually, no, there's a slight tilt there. That's fine. It relieves some shoulder pressure. We're taking a look at her shot form right here. She's got that right elbow pretty far in, actually. It's almost underneath the ball. It's pretty good. That guide hand is in a really good spot right now. This is looking pretty textbook as she lets it go. Oh, I can't go frame by frame, but we're going to try. We're going to try, guys. Okay, we're going to take a look at this again. Let's take a look at her guide hand. Oh, it's flat. Wonderful. Most girls don't have flat guide hands. Why? Because we don't have the same upper body strength that guys do. And so when we're learning how to shoot the ball on a 10-foot hoop, even if it's a slightly smaller ball, girls will learn how to shoot with two hands. And trying to unlearn yourself how to shoot with two hands takes a very long time. And there's a lot of girls who go into high school and even lower levels of college who never learn how to shoot with one hand. And so they'll shoot with two hands, and then maybe they'll shoot with just a slight wrist twist. Then eventually they'll just have a thumb push, and then you can get it down to that. It's kind of like the evolution of getting to a one-handed shot. Paige is there. Just for the sake of comparison, not even Caitlin Clark has a fully one-handed shot. That doesn't mean she's a bad shooter. It just means her mechanics are not 100% the way that it's supposed to be in the textbook. Whereas Paige is a lot closer to that. Is Paige a better shooter? No. But Paige is a very good shooter. And these mechanics are something that I would be striving for if I were learning how to shoot over something that has a more two-handed approach. Look at that offhand. Boom. She's swiping away with that offhand. She's doing it in practice, so she can do it in a game. I'll take a look at it one more time. Take a look at her left hand. As she drives, that hand is swiping down. There it is, right there. Boom. And she's going, because her coach is reaching in, like a player would, as she makes a move to the basket. I think that's a lacrosse stick that she's shooting over right here. Yeah, it's creative. It works, for sure. Because I can tell you there's not a single player in the WNBA who's going to be able to consistently reach that high as a person with a lacrosse stick in the air. Because that stick is going 10 feet and above. And there's not many people who can play above the rim in the WNBA. Like, at all. So, if you can deal with that, then there's nobody who can touch you at that level. Or at any level, really, for women. Paige's trainer has probably noticed, hey, your shooting form is really, really good, with the exception of your knees do cave. So how do we fix that? Well, takes a basketball and it says, hold this between the knees, and basically you're not going to have those knees cave as bad because the ball's going to keep you from doing that. By squeezing the ball, you're working on your adductors, which is the inside muscle portion of your thigh. That is already hyperactive because your knees already want to pull in. What you need to work on is your abductors. Ab, A-B, instead of A-D. Ad and ab. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna just call them the inner leg and your glutes, okay? The inner leg already works hard enough and is overcompensating. Your glutes are what need to be strengthened, and your glutes get strengthened by pushing out. So what she actually needs to be doing is she probably needs to have something like a resistance band around her knees and really focus on not letting those knees cave as she's shooting. So this is not a good drill, frankly. I highly disagree with the purpose of this. Maybe there's an alternative purpose that this has that I have not foreseen. But as of right now, it seems very strange to further strengthen the area that is already creating slight tweaks and issues in the shot when you could do something that it's the opposite of what you should be doing. That's all I gotta say. It's not, like, he's been very good so far, but right now, like, this doesn't do anything for her, which is unfortunate. She uses pace really well. She has elite control over the ball. It's a good combo for a ball handler. She's got the ball extended pretty far out, but again, she's got control over it. That's the key, so really great stuff. Now, what I will say about Paige's shooting form, just on one more note, is her gather is pretty low right there. Yeah, the gather is pretty low. You can really see the knee cave right there. It's just like she has overactive adductors. She does, so you need to work on the glutes. And yeah, the gather is right at the stomach, where some people try and, like, obviously the ball has to go up as it goes, but like the gather is here. Sometimes people want to gather right here. That is probably one thing I will say is a vestige of shooting at a young age, especially from really any distance, is when you're a kid, that's where you're going to gather the ball, and it's easier to get blocked that way. But her release is quick enough that it's fine. She's long enough, it's fine at her level. But, you know, if she ever wanted to improve it, it might be more work than it's worth, but the gather could be higher. I just don't really think it would be worth the effort it would take to reconstruct the gather and then try and do that again, because she's practiced it so many times. So yeah, ultimately that's not a flaw, it's just something that she does. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you really enjoyed that video. Again, I'm watching Paige. I'm keeping track of her progress throughout the season. I think she's going to be a really big deal going forward, and I think she's going to be, you know, continue to be a face that people go to and they're like, hey, I want to see this girl play, because I'm there already. So, you know, I've been a fan for a while, and it's really good to see the kind of stuff that she does workout-wise. You know, again, some gripes, mostly positive stuff, but that's just how I roll. So right now, that's all I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please subscribe. It doesn't take that much. You just click a button, then you're done. Then you get to see me in your feed a little bit more often. And with that, regardless, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.